Screwed, it's trashy, it ain't too classy, it's Hangover Radio. Alright guys, it's Marcus over here at the Naughty Number, and I'm here speaking with Dom across the pond in New York. Dom, it's been a long time, what's the story?
Long time, man. How's it going?
Going great, I have to say, completely different than New York City. Completely different.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was just saying to Dom there just before we went on. There's no editing here. We used to edit our podcast, but I don't do that anymore. If you fuck up, you fuck up. We're just gonna have to be real with these people. You got
I
that?
know I can't edit myself to be the cool guy anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, also I'd like to apologize in the last two podcasts. It turns out I thought my beautiful mic was working, but actually it was the laptop microphone recording me. So that's why I kind of sounded shit in the last podcast. But we're back to sounding good.
You're a mess without me.
Yeah, do you miss
Straight
me?
up
Do you miss me,
anarchy.
Dom? Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, how long have you been over there? Where are you living nowadays?
So
Still,
yeah, I'm in Malta. I'm still in Malta. Grinding away here, but I live by the sea. It's very relaxed. I'm still wearing shorts, and it's nearly November, which is really nice, you know.
tough life you live.
Yeah, it is a tough life. I mean, it's pretty easy, but isn't everything relative? Like, you always want it to be easier. Like, it's hedonic relativism. You know, when you're in a certain place, you just always want to improve and get better and make more money, do more things. You're just never quite content. Well, I think that kind of growth mindset helps, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, you have a really exciting trip coming up. Has that been presented in your other podcast or
Um,
not?
No, I actually haven't touched on it, but just in case, because it's been quite a while since we did a podcast together. It's been a couple of months. Just for people who may be just tuning into Hangover Radio for the first time, like Dom was my co-host for the first 15 or so episodes. Dom, just for people a bit of refresher, people who may not know you, because you used to run a blog. You don't do that anymore.
I
So
don't.
no, you don't. Give a brief introduction about who you are and what you do, and a bit about yourself, just for newbies.
So this is what it feels like to be on the other side of the interviewee
You're usually asking
procedure.
the questions, yeah.
I know. Are we gonna play a word association game now too? Yeah. I mean, I was active travel blogger I'd like to say for about a year, maybe a little bit over a year. I consider myself still, even though I'm plugged out of it, still, I'd like to say a hardcore traveler. I've been to about 30 countries. This one in December, I'm doing a trip. Will be my 31st. Um,
Egypt, right?
Egypt,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
Going to
yeah.
Egypt for 2 weeks. Gonna start at Cairo, work my way down, and then back up.
Oh, cool.
And
A bit
from there,
different. Interesting time to go to Egypt.
very interesting time.
Less
Not
tourists.
big-
Less tourists, man. You're gonna get the place to yourself.
Dude, you have no idea. I mean, like, there's 5 star. First of all, the article you wrote about getting a private tour of the pyramids is completely irrelevant now because you always get a private tour of the pyramids, from what I hear. Like, you are always the only one going up there. I have a buddy of mine that had came back from Egypt, and he said that he was the only one.
Fuck.
He was riding on a horse, and he was just galloping all around the pyramids. There was nobody there for ever. He didn't cross paths with anybody else.
It's fantastic.
You see, I mean,
There's
from what
no.
I hear, you got 5 star hotels for like $100. I mean,
Yeah, my parents.
people-
My parents went over there not so long ago, and they got a beautiful package holiday for absolutely nothing. Nothing like a good revolution, huh?
dude, it's like I think I saw like in Cairo, you get like $120 5 star hotel rooms, and I mean, is I've always wanted to go. I would have liked to go for 3 weeks, but you know, you
Work and
gotta
shit. Yeah, you
gotta
got.
work and shit. So
Yeah. Just for people who don't know, when I was living in New York for 2 years, Dom was my wingman essentially. We were brothers in arms. We tore up the town. You're seriously in shape, man. You're a fucking tank. You're working in fitness now, right?
I'm working in the fitness industry now. Yeah, I'm gonna leave out exactly
Oh yeah,
how
of course, yeah.
involved, but yeah, I've been working in the fitness industry now for almost as soon as I got back from
You're a
as soon
tank,
as I got
man.
back from my
Have you
year.
got a six pack yet?
There's abs there. There's abs there.
But you're fucking strong, man. What are you repping these days?
Man, lately I went through a period where I was trying to set a personal record on like a lift every week. So I took a little bit of time off that. So I've been just repping for like a lot of sets and a lot of reps. So
Going
I
for
do like,
size, a bit of height.
yeah, so I do a little. Now I was trying to do my one rep max almost every 2 weeks, every week sometimes. So, and I'm taking a little bit of break off that. But
What were you
my
benching?
deadlifts are looking good.
What were you benching? You're
I'm benching like around. Well, my personal record for bench is shit. It was like last time I checked, which was over maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months. It was only like 215, so it's shit. But my
It's-
other lifts are a little bit better.
yeah. So, oh wait,
Uh,
what's your deadlift? What are you deadlifting?
Last time I checked, I was deadlifting like 335, which is
Not bad. Although
uh,
it's not much more than me, man. I'm deadlifting 300 pounds. You're fucking bigger, but you're a bit of a popping fresh, aren't you? For some reason, the muscle just fucking grows on you. Like I'm strong, but like I just can't grow the fucking muscles because I'm all strength training. But
well, I'd say we might weigh about the same. How much do you weigh nowadays?
I'm 73 kilo, 160 pounds.
Okay, yeah, so I'm a little bit heavier than you. I'm like 177 now, 178.
All right, so you lost a lot of fat then.
I lost a lot of fat. Yeah, I mean, when I came back, my body fat percentage is like in the single digits now. Last time I checked, it was like 8 or 9% or something like that.
Nice, nice.
So I mean, when I came back, all that beer weight, I was
Came
real.
back from where? Sorry.
When I came back from my year plus abroad,
Oh yeah, you
um,
were. Just for anyone who doesn't know, he was living in Uganda amongst other places and Eastern Europe and everything.
my
All
last destination was Frankfurt, Germany, and that was my last hurrah.
Frankfurt, Germany. Yeah. Oh, so and you were in Trinidad recently. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was in Trinidad at the beginning of summer, and then I went over to Toronto for the Caravana Festival, which is a huge Caribbean festival. And now I'm doing Egypt. I haven't been able to travel much because I'm working more on setting my business up and getting paid. But Trinidad was good. I was there for about four. I was there for about 4 days. It was a lot of drinking, a lot of dance hall parties, lots of beach. So it was a good atmosphere to get out of from the
Well,
from
so
the hustle
I'm
here.
I'm curious because I wonder about the similarities between Trinidad and Jamaica. Because people say the Trinidad's a bit better. How do you find race relations in Trinidad?
Well, I found race relations to be like really friendly. I almost didn't see any tension there between lighter skinned people or darker skinned people or people of Indian descent or people of white descent.
I
I
mean, you're
mean,
you're 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 Guatemalan Peruvian, is it? Or Guatemala Salvadorian, right?
no, Peruvian Salvadorian.
Salvador, yeah. Right.
So
Two,
you got the Salvadorian right,
yeah,
but
yeah,
Peruvian,
yeah. I got Peruvian at the first time. I said Peruvian, Guatemalan.
Guatemala,
I was just thinking
Salvadorian,
of guacamole. I'm fucking hungry, man.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were pretty friendly for all intents and purposes. I mean, I would see, pale white guys with a Caribbean accent walking down, and for all that, they just consider them just as much Trini as, as as a darker skinned guy. So I'd say the race relations are pretty good. I remember you telling me that it wasn't like that in Jamaica, or
Yeah, I found a little tense in Jamaica. They don't like whites a lot. You know, that was my impression. That was definitely my impression. Compared to, I find there's a contrast in New World Africans versus Old World Africans. My only frame of reference, sorry, in Bahamas, I found them lovely. But in the likes of Haiti and Jamaica, and even to the States, certain extent, because of the history there, there's a little bit more hostility.
yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty recent that a lot of historical events that caused that tension. So definitely in the States. But yeah, I mean, it could be maybe because maybe I saw it as a friendly territory because I could pass for being a local. So maybe if I was a white guy, I would think of it differently. But from the impression I got, it seemed like a very friendly place.
So you're dating someone, are you?
Yeah, so I'm seeing somebody now. It's serious.
Oh
So
yeah.
I've hung my player hat up
Wait a minute.
for.
Wait a minute. Is it? Are you going to Egypt with this girl? Yeah.
No, no, no. I'm going to
Oh,
Egypt solo.
you're going solo. Oh shit. Because for
So
any, I was telling Dom that I booked a trip to Tunisia, hoping to get my Libyan visa, and you were hoping to come with me, right?
I was, dude. I mean,
The
I
visa,
was
right?
looking. Yeah, the visa was such a problem. You know what, man? I have to renew my Peruvian visa. That would make my life a whole lot easier for traveling to, more
A lot of places don't like.
a lot of places that that Americans would have a hard time
Yeah,
getting into.
yeah.
Uh, but I mean, I'm jealous, man. I wanted to go on that trip. I mean, but
There's three of us now going. My friend Danny and his brother is gonna come as well. He reckons.
dude, so I'm just okay. So I don't know how
So
out
I
there
just
you
say for
put.
readers, if they don't know, I did a poll on Twitter about pick my next war zone, and I think it was Libya, Yemen, and fuck, what was the other one? Fucking, where's that war? Afghanistan. But Libya topped the poll. So
You couldn't put Crimea in there, could you?
Crimea, that's not a war zone.
I
Well, I mean that I'd say it's fucking handy. I don't know what stories you'd probably would you need a Russian visa? How does that work? I've a friend who owns a hostel in Kiev. He reckons it's fucking good time to go. Less
Yeah,
tourists.
I emailed him when I was in Kiev, but we didn't get a chance to link up. I think he was out of town during that time.
I
But
think he has a kid there now. He knocked up some girl.
oh,
I'm seeing baby pictures in his Facebook feed. Could be
you
worse
know what, man?
places.
I gotta say, um, definitely a lot of beautiful women out there. But I thought it was a little overhyped in the manosphere. I didn't. I was expecting to get my head turned every block, but that
But
didn't happen.
but you like them big booties, baby.
But
You're not gonna.
coming from just a standard point of beauty, I didn't like. I still, I'd say, you
You thought
know,
Romanians are better looking, right?
I thought Romanians were much better looking.
Mm.
I definitely would give the upper hand to Croatian women as well, and
Mm.
Hungarian women as well.
Well, funny you say that because Croatian women, Hungarian women, they're a bit chunkier. They have a bit more, a bit more ass, a bit more tits.
Definitely Hungarian women. I did not see that in Croatia though. In Croatia, they were a little bit more along the Ukrainian slim body frame.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Hungarians now. I guess, I mean, it's all subjective experience. I found the women in Ukraine gorgeous, and also the sex ratio might have influenced it as well, and also the people I was with. Like I was with the company I kept, the Ukrainian girls I had the pleasure of meeting were just gorgeous. So I guess, I mean, all these things are kind of subjective. You try as best you can to be objective, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my view on Ukraine is definitely affected by the time period in which I went because I went during the summer, so
Oh,
every
a lot of them leave. Yeah.
yeah, they all left for the summer, so the town looked like a ghost town, and even when I would go to popular bars on a Friday night, there would be like five people there.
Are
So
you serious?
yeah, I
This
was
is
serious, and I was getting advice
wow.
from local guys that were really friendly guys that I met
Shit.
via couch surfing, and they were like, "Well, these are the good places," and they were all shit because there was nobody there, you know.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh well. Oh, you can't win them all.
You can't win every battle, but I mean, I did get the Ukraine flag, so I guess it wasn't all bad. In Odessa, though.
Yeah. All right. Does it not count if it's on Odessa? Oh, because that is no. Odessa's still Ukraine, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Odessa was good. I was there for about a month. I was in Kiev for about 10 days, I think, and I was in Lviv for maybe like 4 days.
how does that work flagging wise? Imagine if you're in you score some girl in the Crimea, right? So
Yeah.
you think you got your Ukraine flag, but then fucking Russian take it over. You got your Russian flag now?
I'd say I don't know, you flip a coin. Flip a coin.
Would you
I was
to the
looking,
UN?
yeah. I was looking into going for next summer for about a week.
Back to Eastern Europe or Ukraine specifically?
Well, I definitely know next year I'm going to Iran. That one,
Iran. Yeah.
Iran, yes. So that one is that's solid.
That's cool, man. I like. I have a friend I travel with through Africa and all over, and his favorite place is Iran. He's been there fucking 4 times.
Oh, that I mean, from what I hear, Well, some people that I work with at work, they rave about it. They've been there. They
I hear
go
it's
there almost every
amazing.
year.
I hear it's amazing. I hear the people are really friendly,
Oh, yeah,
and yeah,
hospital.
I've heard nothing but. I hear they actually have serious house parties. My mate, he went to fucking house parties, drinking, fucking shagging and everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, a buddy of mine was like it's they party there like it's like there's no tomorrow. And there's another guy that I know that's from Pakistan. He says the same thing that if you get in
In
the right,
Pakistan.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun, man. Getting in the underground scene in Pakistan. That's really pulling the curtain back.
Oh man, he told me if you get because he goes there right, with goes with family every year, and because he's from Pakistan, and he says, man, once
He's
you
upper
get there.
class though, right? He's upper class. He has
Oh yeah,
to.
he's upper class, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's like the house parties are insane. He's like there's booze, there's drugs everywhere. It's like it's just a free for all.
That tends to they tend to happen all over. Like upper class people, they just they tend to be quite liberal, and there's like you can imagine what kind of shit's going on. Fucking the royals and Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, just fucking flying over Instagram models and paying them 10 grand to dump in their chest and all that kind of shit. It's just shit goes on when you have money.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
Shit
mean,
goes on. Hee hee.
Iran is definitely in the works for next year.
You want
Probably.
it. You want a good bit of time though. I've it's very easy for me to get to Iran, but yeah, like I feel like you have to do the country justice. At least 2 weeks. At
Oh,
least.
absolutely. I would
Yeah.
not go for any less than 2 weeks, and I'd
Yeah.
like to go for at least 3 weeks. But
Yeah. three
2 weeks is the
weeks
minimum.
minimum. No, I would. You couldn't justify it for a week. Sure, you want to be hanging out in Iran Tehran for 2 weekends or something.
Absolutely. And of course, the next I've been wanting to go. I've been wanting to go to Tunisia for a long time. Tunisia
Yeah.
would definitely be in the works for next year as well. So those are two that I'm set on making it
Why
happen.
why couldn't you make it for my trip in December for Tunisia? There was no way of like kind of coming to Tunisia and then to Egypt.
Well, there was, but I mean, at that first around time, it's when I would be getting the most business, so I'd have to wait a little bit later, and then the way
Uh-huh.
how Skyscanner is. So I got the
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good deal. It was $600, dude.
Sorry, man.
Around
Your
Egypt.
sound is a little unstable there. You keep kind of coming and going. I don't know if you want to sit still. You're
Okay,
quite.
is that better?
No, it's worse.
Shit, I didn't move
No,
any.
now it's perfect. Now it's perfect.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, how Skyscanner is. I got a really good deal, so I went during the times that they told me, and it was perfect because it was more mid-month, and I got the round trip for $600, and that's only with like a
Whoa!
1 hour layover, which is
What?
amazing.
You got a $600 flight
$600 flight, only
from
one layover, and it's like an hour layover, so
wow,
it's very,
New York to Cairo. Yeah,
yeah, New York to Cairo,
six
yes.
hundred dollars return. That's a fucking steal, man. Well done. That's a
Dude,
steal. I
I
thought I
actually
thought I
bought.
thought I did well this year, but that's pretty good. I got my
That's
return flights to Colombia for €490. It's like
Oh, that's
five.
pretty good though.
Yeah,
That's
man, it's fucking
well,
good.
oh, euros. Okay, I thought you meant
So
dollars.
they're like $550. It's kind of similar to what you did. I think the distance wise, they're both great deals.
Yeah. And also I had bought a trip to Japan, but I got that
What
trip for $500.
you bought it?
I bought it, but then I used Expedia, so I canceled it because I wanted to climb Mount
Fuji?
Fuji, and it wasn't gonna happen during December. So I
Oh
just
shit! And they
yeah,
they,
I
gi-
bought
they
it
give
on
you a
an
refund?
impulse. Oh yeah, absolutely. Expedia does 24-hour refund.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a 24-hour thing. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and you could just cancel it over the phone, and it's super easy. I canceled it within like 3 minutes.
Oh, Japan, man. Oh, it's
We
one of those.
have a buddy in Japan. If for those that
Oh
have,
yes, we do. We do have a friend in
yes.
Japan. I got two or three friends in Japan now that I think about it. Maybe that's something we could. We see. If I was going to Japan, I'd have to go to North Korea because they're right beside each other. That's to be.
Oh, it's a must.
Yeah, and but the thing about Japan is like that's another place I'd want to spend 3 weeks there. There's so much there, Hokkaido in the north, and Kyoto and going down south is so much. I'm sure it would cost a bomb now, maybe 2 weeks. But
Yeah, I would say at least 3 weeks. I mean,
yeah.
feel like I'm selling Egypt short by only going there for 2 weeks.
Nah,
But
man, Egypt, it's frustrating. I mean, listen, it's I don't have great things to say about Egypt, but
yeah,
my friend Dan, who he just went back there for after 10 years later, he went back 10 years later. He was only there a week ago, and he has a completely different perception of it now. Like it depends on what kind of budget you're on, but like he said, it's completely different when you up the budget a bit and you're staying in nice places. You have a completely different experience of it. But it's like you're gonna get you get hassled a lot on the street and that kind of thing. Maybe you'll get away with it because you're a little bit darker, but just that people can be a bit hassly. Are you going what's the story? You staying in? Have you anything booked over there?
no, I have nothing booked yet. But
Okay.
I mean, I've been doing well, so definitely upping the budget as opposed
Yeah.
to my backpacking days.
Well, we were 20 and we were paying fucking €6 or €7 a night. We couldn't even drink because we had 3,000 to go through the whole Africa. Or 3,500 is nothing. So yeah,
Jeez, you
yeah,
guys.
yeah. I'm sure if you pay 20, 30 a night, you'll avoid. Make sure you just do your research on about where to stay. I think it's Zamalek Island is the place where all the kind of bars are, and it's a bit nicer. Um, yeah, something like that. Or
Yeah,
just
I mean,
for co-
I'm definitely gonna stay in a little bit like nicer parts, but I definitely want to still get into trouble and
it's hard, man. Well, no, it's not hard. I think just the beer is expensive, but it's not. There's not much of a scene, man. Don't expect much nightlife. Don't expect it. Honestly, it's really kind of shitty. My advice would be, let's see, hit the coast. If you want to have a party, hit the coast. The coast, like Hurghada, Alexandria, that's a lot more liberal. Get out of Cairo. Do the pyramids. Get the fuck out. Do the pyramids and the museum. Get the fuck out of Cairo. Cairo's a shithole.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go make my way to Cairo and then to Luxor and Aswan
yeah,
and then
looks
go back
where.
to Alexandria because it's
Yes,
a round trip from Cairo and then from Alexandria go back to Cairo and then fly back to New York.
That's a good place. Alexandria is a good place to end it. Cause and they've actually really good trains. The trains are really really good. Almost it's where you're in Europe. It's incredible. Um, yeah, so yeah, it'd be great. Go down to Luxor, see all that Aswan. Cause it'd be if I like Aswan. That was pretty nice if I recall. But yeah, you have the place yourself. I often wonder if I judged it too harshly because that was kind of my first dip into that kind of
Yeah, it's
world.
that atmosphere and now you
It can
get
be a bit
used to the
intense.
hassle on the street
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
stuff.
Exactly. You get used to it. Exactly. So maybe that was just my first time dealing with all these hustlers and people hassling you all the time. Now I'm kind of immune to it. I wonder if would I go back and just be like, and I trusted we trusted people too much there. We got fucked over a couple of times. We trusted too many people there. We're not very naive.
Right. Well, yeah, it was your first it was your first time in that kind of a setting. You
Mm.
were it happens to the best of us. But this how was Iceland, by the way? I know
Iceland was fantastic. It was perfect. It was 30th birthday, 100 countries. Had my family in there. Had sister and my brother fly in from New York, and then had a girl from Colombia fly up. Yeah, it was just perfect.
not bad for an old man.
Not bad for no man. Yeah, but yeah, we fucking flew. Yeah, we rented a car, drove around waterfalls, and went to the Blue Lagoon. It was fantastic. It was expensive as balls, but worth every penny. And
Iceland is probably one that I'll do next year as well. So far, it's
it's really
looking
good,
like Iceland,
and it's so
Tunisia, and
cheap.
Iran.
It's so cheap for you to get to Iceland because they've Wow Air now flying to New York from October, I think, from this month. Yeah, so now it costs you less than it costs around $90 for you guys to go.
Yeah, I've been seeing round trips for like 250 on Skyscanner.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's ideal if you can go with people because the car rental is actually reasonable, and there's if you're there for a few days, a thing called the Golden Circuit, and it's about a 500 kilometer trip out. You spend the whole day doing a circle, but it's incredible some of the stuff you see. There's have this big waterfall there. You can walk behind it. It's just incredible. The Blue Lagoon, well worth it. These things cost money. Well, the Blue Lagoon costs money, but it's 100% worth it. It's this huge volcanic like thermal pool, and you can like have a beer there, and it's lovely and hot. It's always like 37 degrees, and even in the snow and everything, just the temperature's right and just so relaxing. So you spend a couple of hours there. It's great. Totally had sex in there, not gonna lie, because it's so creamy from all the sulfur. You can't see even an inch underneath it.
Yeah,
So we were
sure.
going at in the middle of it. Like I think a few people noticed. It was hilarious, but
Yeah. So what was you guys stayed there for about a week? No, was that
oh no, it
enough?
wasn't. It was 4 days. Four
Was that
days.
enough?
No, like I mean, you really want to, you want a week to drive around the whole country, but it's actually I found it perfect because I got everything I wanted to see there. Because you get all the biggest waterfall and the geyser, the famous geyser, and the Blue Lagoon. You can do all that from Reykjavik. If you want, there's some extra waterfalls and things like volcanoes. If you want to see volcanoes, you have to drive out. You need a week or so. Uh, yeah, but it can get very expensive. But I found 4 days perfect. I felt like I did Iceland. I've
Yeah.
seen I've seen volcanoes and shit. So I felt like I did Iceland. I saw the waterfalls I wanted to see because I'm a bit of a waterfall lover. I love a good waterfall. Nothing more
Yeah.
romantic than a good one. Yeah,
Well,
kiss my Colombian girl behind the waterfall. It was all very cute. We're the only
I
ones
mean,
there.
pictures looked a lot cuter.
Yeah, well, do you want to see?
Or,
I've loads of other pictures that I just don't put up online. It's really incredible ones, but I don't want to put ones with other people out there.
that should be the picture to represent this podcast. Should just be your girl in that
Oh
outfit.
God, Jesus, yeah. She's back in Colombia now, anyway. Uh, yeah, but
I've pleasured
she's at
myself a few times to it.
yeah. Oh yeah. I sent you the kinky picture.
You send me the rated R pictures.
What you think? What you think? And you know what? I know she's listening to this. She listens to all my podcast, so just be careful when you say. Yeah, she's a little spy. But yeah. She's as you can see, she's a very very good looking girl.
Yeah, definitely,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah, but
So
she's
now
a
that you turned
psychologist as well.
30,
Huh?
um,
One?
did you need any assistance from the Viagra department?
Not with her. Fuck no. I come
Yeah, but
gone. Fuck off. Fuck off.
I'm looking at it now. I mean, really, definitely a looker. Anyway,
Yeah, she's a looker. Right? She used to model and stuff, but yeah.
so you are flying to Colombia now.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet her for Carnival, and I got two friends flying in from Florida as well. A girl and a guy I went to Antarctica with. Um, and
Oh,
he was
the hockey player.
yeah, man. He's
Yes,
flying in with his girlfriend from Miami, and we're gonna try and do Angel Falls. That's
I
the plan.
remember. You told me.
Angel Falls, man, that's a fucking bitch to get to. Do you know how hard it is to get to Angel Falls, right? So you gotta take a bus from Colombia essentially because it's really expensive to fly into Caracas, like stupidly expensive to fly into Caracas. And you have to take a bus, and it takes about a day, like 20, 22 hours to get to Caracas. Then you have to take another 12-hour bus or something like that, 12 hours, can't remember, down to this other city called Ciudad Bolivar. And then from there, it's impossible to go to the next town via road, so you have to take like a seven-seater plane, right? You get on the seven-seater plane, go to this tiny little place called Kiama, I forget the name of it, Kiama or something. But anyway, and then from there you had to fucking take it's a 3 day journey via boat, dug a canoe into the
sounds like
jungle.
quite,
But
that
it's
sounds
an
like quite the journey.
yeah, it's an adventure, right? But that's how difficult it is to see Angel Falls. It's no fucking joke.
Well, I
But
suppose that's part of the fun of it.
yeah, man. Well, it's the one thing I want, and also because it's in Venezuela, people just don't go there because it's fucking Venezuela. But
Right.
but it's the one thing since I was a kid that I wanted to see. I remember when I was very young. I remember the very first time I learned to play the keyboards. The first thing I did was make up a song about Angel Falls. Yeah, about how much I wanted to go there when I was 7. I think I made it up with my cousin.
There should, what we should put together be like a Hangover podcast slash Naughty Nomad Summer Jam mixtape with that and the other song you performed the
Oh,
last
shut the
time you
fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Zip
the
it. Zip it.
intro.
Thank God we're losing you. Sorry, we're losing you, Dom. We're losing. No, but actually, I actually am losing you a bit. I don't know why the connection is. Speak to me.
Yeah,
Hello.
I mean
Yeah,
everything's good on my end.
yeah. We're good now. We're good now. So
All right, so
like what's it like since I left there with the whole Hillary and the Trump thing? It's fucking like it's just fascinating watching it from this side of the pond. But what's it like over there?
you know what? To be honest with you, I read somewhere on the forum that uh,
On what for?
keeping up with politics is
Which
not like keeping up.
which forum? My forum or Roosh V forum?
No, the Rouge V forum
Yeah, yeah.
that so or maybe it might have been sorry, it might have been Victor Pride's website, boldanddetermined.com, that keeping up with politics is a lot like no, it was Victor Pride's that keeping up with politics is a lot like keeping up with a soap opera, you know? It's just
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
don't I
especially in
don't.
this election.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not much for it. I haven't been
Well,
keeping
good
up with
for
it as
you.
closely as others.
Good for you, man, because I was kind of obsessed with it for a while, and just all the culture wars and stuff. But it started to drain me mentally. Like I used to be listen to blogs that would talk about it, like especially podcasts like Milo and talk, like Matt Forney and Joe Rogan. And everyone was talking about it, right? And I was reading blogs and I was just so into it, and I was like, I had to just unplug from the whole thing. So now what I consume is, I purposely avoid all that stuff. I listen to like finance blogs or self improvement blogs like Tim Ferriss and stuff, just to give my brain a break, because it's too much. I think it's hilarious, but I'm still keeping an eye on it. But it's just so fascinating. And I wonder, well, like, what's your personal opinion? Because like I know you don't want to make any enemies and stuff like that, and it's kind of because the way I see it is this, right? Look, this is from a European perspective.
Right.
It's not. I don't think this is a presidential election about the candidates at all. I don't think the candidates have anything to do with this election. I think Donald Trump could go up and shoot a baby in the face and still get elected, because the people don't care about him. They just care about what he represents, and
Right.
he's the kind of like the guy who happens to be in front of the army that's kind of taken down the establishment, because that's why Sanders was popular. That's why Trump is popular, because they're both anti-establishment candidates. People are tired of the things as they are, and the political corruption, corporate interest lobbyists, all this kind of PC culture. So I think all the kind of the juggernaut that is the Trump train, as they say, is it's a train. It's not Trump. It's just a fucking train. Everyone should go on that train and fucking smash into it. And they don't care who does it.
I agree.
Yeah, I think.
No, I definitely agree.
And even a lot of his adamant supporters are they're kind of admitting it as well. They're like, well, he's a bit of a dope, but look at what we're up against here, and it's a lesser of two evils. Well, in terms of, and not talking about the two characters, I'm talking about the cultures, the whole the PC left and stuff, because I think a lot of people who are kind of supporting Trump now were originally like liberals. Like I was a classical liberal. I wanted Obama to get elected, if I recall. But people are kind of disenfranchised now, and a lot of libertarians and people with libertarian views have kind of swung over to the right. It's like a pendulum, back and forth, back and forth. And I guarantee in 8 years again it'll be. I mean, it seems like it's cyclical in America. It's like every 8 years is Democrat, then it's Republican, then it's Democrat, then it's Republican. Like, when was the last time it was 16 years one party?
Right. Yeah. I mean, when one party
You don't know?
can't
Oh, sorry, because
swing.
has that happened in the last century? I'm totally ignorant. I should probably know that. I can only think back a couple of presidents.
I mean, when a certain party, when like the Republicans mess up, then they're like, well, maybe Democrats will do better, and then there's no there's no big difference, and then they're like, well, let's try them again. So we have, I would say, a pretty short attention span to where we'll elect a new party, and then if they can't fix whatever drought we feel we're in, then we'll just look over to the next one, and then just keep going back and forth.
Well, I personally think that if Trump did win, the biggest victory for me would be against the fucking mainstream media bullshit. Like, that's what, like, I obviously had very bad experiences with media in the last year. And I've just seen it's all horseshit. It just rendered them powerless. If Trump wins, it will just show that fucking mainstream media is dead. It's internet. It's all the internet now. And can you imagine if and it's the way it's going. And can you imagine what it's going to be like for the next presidential cycle? Oh my, it's going to be all online. But I think it's positive from a point of view, is because all this money raised in campaigning and all this corporate interest for TV ads and all that fucking bullshit. Uh, I mean, it'll be an exchange of ideas as opposed to the most ridiculous candidate in the next election. But I think it's all going to be online.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see the election turn out to be Bernie versus Donald Trump, because that would have been just two candidates going solely off of one race.
Sanders would have destroyed him. I think.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been over just two people that have, just hardcore supporters, not any of this media backing, and like, the system's all for pushing Hillary to win.
Yeah, and I feel like that was the election the American people wanted to have. Like if it seemed to me like people, Sanders supporters were fanatics. They don't have that on the Hillary side, and you saw with the WikiLeaks, the whole DNC colluding with media to basically they didn't want Sanders to get the nomination. And also apparently I've read things about there was also blackmail involved with superdelegates. There's so much blackmailing going on. I was like, you're voting for Hillary, bitch. We know that you touched that fucking 12-year-old back in when you were running for governor or whatever fucking scandal of the day is. But it's kind of fucked up. The emperor really has no clothes in this one. God, it's gonna be...
I mean, it seemed like there was really no choice. It was it was great. The support Sanders rallied up in the beginning, but I mean, Hillary was just pushed down our throats. I feel like there was really no choice, and
yeah,
I don't know. It'll be. I really don't have any emotional investment in either or candidate. I know a lot of people in the manosphere are, they're rooting for Trump, and yes, I like.
That's because you're a Mexican, and we don't like Mexicans in America, right?
Exactly. So I mean, a lot of the people in the manosphere, they listen to Trump with the ears of a white male here, and it's like, well, he didn't say anything towards me, so I mean, why wouldn't I vote for Trump? So yeah, that definitely would.
I guarantee your mom is she's born in Latin America, right?
Yeah, she was born.
I guarantee she's fucking hates Trump, right?
I don't think any of us really. I mean, we all know that regardless of who becomes president, that much won't change.
Nothing will. Yeah, you're right, dude. Let's be honest. Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah. So I mean, it won't change. Whatever agenda needs to be pushed will be pushed.
But let's look at something, right? On the left, the far left now, who promote this politically correct culture. Look at how this has affected your life and my life. You stopped your blog because of this bullshit.
This is true.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about that. Like just about. So it was after the media attacks on Roosh and myself and others in the manosphere, because I had really big consequences. I don't think I've talked about this much on the podcast, but basically I had my whole village found out about it, and there was fucking talks about boycotting on my family business. It was fucking terrible. My reputation was ruined, and still is to this day, I would say, to some people who probably just read the headline and didn't read the details. But for pretty fucking incredible stuff, and complete libel. I had to fucking get.
So why don't you stay with the headlines read for those that didn't get a chance to see?
Irish. I think I did mention this actually before. Actually, I'm not even gonna say it because I'm not giving it any more fucking legitimacy or airtime, because why? It's some tabloid fucking nonsense. But it was basically say Irish sicko with links to pro rape group in reference to the fact that Matt Forney, who writes at Return of Kings, was my editor for my last book. That was their amazing link. That it just so I could obviously so stupid. Oh god. But that wasn't actually the lie. They had libelous quotes where they misquoted me and took stuff out of context. They stitched stuff written in different articles with a ... together to imply illegality on my part, and I was a complete horseshit. I contacted like 12 different libel lawyers, and like I had to get put legal pressure on it. And thankfully, the libelous quote was taken off the online version, but the print version was already out there. But I needed to prove loss of earnings, and Ireland has become kind of the libel capital of Europe now because of the laws are so stringent, even more so than the UK. So we're flood. The lawyers in Ireland are inundated with requests for libel, so they're only taking cash cases, you know. But anyway, talk about how well why you so this all happened and you soon stopped blogging.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's I saw what I wasn't looking to making travel blogging the main source of my income, and I was looking how everybody in the master was getting a crackdown on their content because it was it was it was politically incorrect writing, and I wasn't gonna fight that fight, you know. The
You don't want your name.
source.
You don't want your name. Someone types in your name to Google, and the first result is anything, even 10 fucking words away from the word rape or anything like that. So, guys, for people who don't know about this whole rape thing, there's a guy called Roosh V who wrote an article called. I'm sure most of you guys know who fucking Roosh V is. He wrote an article, How to Stop Rape, hysterical article, and the media went with it. There were 1,600 articles written about how he was a rape advocate, which was fucking ridiculous. But they decided to fucking spin it, and they went on basically an internet wish hunt against anyone involved in the quote-unquote manosphere, or basically any male blogger who wrote for men, essentially.
Right. So, I mean, the context of my blog was basically my sexcapades written
Sexcapades,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really my sexcapades written out, and some travel info
You're a
on.
misogynist. You're a
Yeah,
sexist misogynist who objectifies women. I mean, like you're going to all these third world countries because you can't get laid in your own country.
right. And when it's more like
He
you
does
know.
he gets laid fucking very easily in his own country. If you see this guy, if you're complaining about this kind of stuff, like if you saw Dom, you'd wet your panties. So,
So yeah,
but
it's like
Ugandan girls have bigger asses, so that's why he's going there. I don't know about you.
it's like we both enjoy traveling, and then there are hot women in these countries, so of course we're gonna dip our feet in the pond, and it seems like any kind of expression on on masculine
Masculinity, yeah,
sexuality.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Well, it's a whole it's a kind of we live in a your masculinity is under attack essentially.
right. Was just looked down upon, and it was if you were at best you were called a misogynist, at worst you were called
A
a rapist.
rapist almost like just you're a rapist. If like now the whole thing it's getting popular where if the girl was drinking, like she had a couple of drinks, oh you're a rapist now, and it doesn't matter if you're legally or not. It's just well, like enough people call you at the internet. It's like a fucking witch hunt. It's fucking ridiculous.
Right. So it's like it doesn't. I mean, I
By their definition, the
I was
whole of
just
Ireland are rapists. All our country is just a nation of rapists, women and men, young and old, just all
right. So I was
rapists.
just looking. I mean, I wasn't getting any big backlash from my blog because I compared to like Matt Forney or Roosh V or even yourself, my context wasn't as controversial because it was just a tale of my sexcapades. It wasn't Matt Forney had a few posts that out there that were
Well,
satire,
and
but
also attacking feminists. So when
yeah,
you
exactly.
attack them, you're stoking the fire. And I did a bit of that as well, but that's not the reason why I got attacked. But yeah, so you weren't attacking feminists. You were just basically a young guy living life, doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and then just putting it out there because I
Guys are
got.
interested. People want to know like what's it like, picking up girls in Uganda because it's like no one whose is that? Like I want to know about that.
Yeah, I think guys just want to know what it's, a lot, guys would just want to know what it's like through the lens of a guy that gets laid frequently, no matter where they are. And I mean, that's why I was drawn into Roosh V's blog or your blog was because that wasn't, that wasn't my reality for a while until it was. And I mean, I think that's why guys want to tune in, but there's a, yeah, there's the far feminist group. There's the far left feminist group that
Radical feminists, let's call them
radical
that.
feminists that they They don't like that, and they want to be treated as men, and any kind of writing where it feels like you are oppressing women, even though you necessarily are just you're just telling a story, was caught in the fire. So I wasn't that invested in it. It wasn't something that I wanted to make my main source of income.
You don't get fucked, dude. Like you don't.
Yeah, I mean,
It takes one hit piece. They dox you. You get your real name. They write an article about you, and anytime someone Googles your name, boom, you're fucked. Your reputation's
Right.
ruined. That's how easy it is.
Exactly. I mean, and it's a double-edged sword because you want to get popular articles so that you get more notoriety and you get more
And
clicks.
you were being brave. You were one of the brave ones. Like you started with your face out there. A lot of people, we all started anonymous, and then like a lot of us started to raise our head above the parapet. You had Matt Roosh, myself, and Mike Cernovich, and a couple others would just like show their faces, and it was fine for a while. But then you saw the consequences. This is why we're urging young guys out there: if you're gonna write a blog or about any of this kind of stuff, trust me. Being anonymous has your advantages. It has its advantages, serious advantages.
Yeah, but I mean, the way I saw it is, if they want to if they want to find you, they're gonna find you, regardless of whether you.
Yeah,
want
you're probably right actually, because they can dox you if you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
somebody with any kind of sense wants to find you, they'll
but
get your.
what about your man Royce and I don't know if and I'm sure there's guys out there who haven't been doxed. Like that guy has written a lot of controversial stuff. He hasn't. I haven't heard of his real name. Maybe it's come out. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know.
Which guy?
The Chateau Artiste or that
Oh, yeah. I mean, from what I hear, there's so many unknowns circling that blog that it's a group of guys. It's not one guy,
Yeah.
or I mean, I don't know. There's just so much unknowns about it that that would be a model for what keeping an anonymous blog would be like. But then again, I don't know. Maybe they have a book, but from what I know, they don't have much product out there as well.
Yeah,
so
there's not. Much
it's just a blog.
Is there any, like, are you still interested in the manosphere? Do you still read blogs or follow things, or are you kind of stepping away from all that, or are you still interested?
Yeah, I mean, I stepped away from most of it. I read your blog still for when your lazy ass decides to do a post.
I'm
which is
terrible. It's like once every 10 days.
but I'll still read. I read Victor Pride's blog. I read Mike Cernovich's blog, but that's about it. I mean, it's turned from self-improvement to
It's gotten very politicized. Yes.
Yeah, very politicized. It's just it's just shot after shot towards radical feminists, and now what I feel you have are just radical manists, if you want to call it. I don't know what it would be called. Radical manists versus like radical feminists, and I feel like neither does justice to just a normal person.
Do you still read Return of Kings?
No, I don't really read Return of Kings anymore. I mean, just those three are the ones. I mean, I'll still read Good Looking Loser as well, but for all intents and purposes, those are the ones I stick to. Yours, Mike's, Victor's, and
I'm very impressed with Chris from Good Looking Loser. His Crantum campaign. He's doing a lot of work there.
Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, all those guys are doing a great job of bringing in revenue, and they're providing useful pieces for improvement. And as opposed to other blogs, I just feel like, it's just pettiness going back and forth. And I mean, that's not my fight. I'm not in it. I just want to improve, and everything.
So your body is pretty much fucking shaping up nicely. So what's your next goal? Is it like financial? You're thinking about your finances?
Absolutely. My next goal is financial. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing all right, which, that's always the trouble, right? I mean,
you're living in New York City. It's it's expensive.
Yeah, absolutely, it's expensive. But I mean, like I said, I'm making a little bit more than when you and I met. But I'm making more, but then I have less time, so that's always the.
Don't talk to me. I've got a decent bit of income right now. It's just time. Time is killing me.
Absolutely.
I have more time than most people doing what I do, but still, it's never enough. It's never enough. It's either, everyone wants to get to that ideal place where you have enough money to finance all the free time, but also enough. God, I'm saying this completely fucking backwards. Let's just call it work-life balance.
We might have to edit this then.
Fuck that. I'm not editing shit. I'm too lazy. You see the way I do a blog post.
That's true.
I'm not going back to editing podcasts. Oh my God, I used to like going to listen back to a podcast again and going through, oh shit, we said there and we didn't look so cool. Fuck that shit. We just got to be real. Like I'm listening a lot more podcasts now because, I'm doing a lot of design work, creative work. So it's very visual, so I can listen to stuff now, and I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, and fucking no one edits anymore. I mean, people do. There's lots of really well produced podcasts out there, very structured, and they're excellent. Don't get me wrong, but I've decided that I'm a bit more free flow. Like even video editing stuff, I'm on Instagram now, just doing little videos here and there and pictures and stuff. I'm much better with that stuff because to sit down and put a lot of effort into something that doesn't necessarily make me money. Like I make a bit of money off the blog, but it's not where. Like it's the 80-20 rule. You know the 80-20 rule?
No.
80% of the effort gets you 20% of the income. Like 20% of your effort will get you 80% of the results. And that kind of comes from pretty much anything. You can apply the 80-20 rule to everything, like from business to fitness. It's the 20% will get you 80% of the results. So the whole thing is don't waste your time on the bullshit. Right. We all wasted time on too much fucking bullshit.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we all want to get to that 4-hour weekend. Let's be honest, right?
Oh, I had it. No, that's not necessarily true. I had that too. I had that 4-hour work week. God, it's fucking boring. You know how boring it is just to work 4 hours, and there's a lot of free time. It is, man. I'm telling you, I was working 4 hours a week, and I could afford to live. I'm not even joking. I could, because with the passive income online and work, I was singing for 2 hours a week, 2 hours into blogging this. I was actually living here when I was here with my girlfriend when we were living in the house, because Malta's so cheap, and I had a lovely place, and 4 hours I could get by 4 hours a week, but I was fucking bored, man. I was watching, God, I watched so much fucking series. Like in the fight, you don't feel productive, and you're less productive.
I went through every South Park episode.
Yeah, fuck. But you're actually like I even find it hard to write. God, there's just for people who are wondering, there's been a big delay on my, and this all goes back to the media tax, so it all ties in together. But I've had a huge delay on my third book, which is the Mexican Pirate book, which is kind of the sequel to I Know Mad. I literally wrote half it, and then I stopped dead because when those media tax happened, my friends who I travel with, they were so concerned because they're in like really high end professions, right? Like serious professions. They can't afford to lose their reputation, so they were like, man, you can't write this because it'll fuck up all our lives, for some of them. And some of them are very paranoid. One of my friends in particular is extremely paranoid in general. And all this shit, like my sites got hacked during that attack, and there was all sorts of I had to like mass delete stuff on my blog. Any mention of friends and stuff, I took a lot of caution, removed all pictures. But still that paranoia, and we had a big kind of argument about the whole thing, and it kind of just killed my enthusiasm for it because like, oh God, is it worth it? Now I am slowly writing it again, but the enthusiasm before is not there. I mean, because what I've realized is having those, connections with people. We're going back to happiness, the overall idea of happiness. You're talking about you want to achieve the 4-hour work week, right?
Right. Well, so, I mean, I think that's something, we all
it's a good, yeah, and of course,
within reason.
Of course, and why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It sounds really good, right? But like we talk about happiness, what we want, right? If you look at happiness and what makes people happy, there's two kind of things that come up. I think I mentioned this 2 podcasts ago, but there's two kind of things that come up. And the first thing is be able to enjoy like little things in life, like the smell of coffee and a nice sunny day. And the second thing is meaningful connections with people. Like that's really important. I think it's harder to make those meaningful connections with people when you get older, when you come outside of things like college or school and social groups. It becomes a bit harder when you get older because people get more stubborn and less enthused to meet other people. And having those meaningful connections, I think as men as well, having like good connections with other lads, it's really important. So things like really old friendships, are they worth fucking like ruining and turning over the apple cart for a book? Now I am going to write the book, but I am going to leave out things. Now I wasn't going to before, but I'm going to have to leave out certain things for my friend's sake, you know, because I'm now concerned about that. Which sucks because he has some fucking awesome stories and they're really embarrassing, like my stories in the book. But I'm gonna have to cut the guy some slack because I want a fucking friendship at the end of it. I don't think it's worth fucking burning those bridges. Some friendships are worth it, but some friendships are not.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And you know, you don't. It's a reasonable paranoia though, because you experienced the witch hunt personally, so it's not exactly
Oh,
over
they
the
can
top
fuck you
paranoia.
up. They can fuck you up. If the media wants to get you, they'll get you.
Oh, absolutely.
And even if they want to get you and you didn't do anything, they'll probably get you anyway if they wanted to. They, the
Oh,
way they
they'll
spin things,
dig up something and then, just they
spin
completely
it. Yeah,
spin it the way they want
yeah.
to reach the narrative, you
So
know?
tell me. So what's Dom Torres' plans for the next 5 years? Can you do a 5 year plan for me, or do you got one?
I have a 1 year plan. I don't have a 5 year
That's
plan.
that's perfectly valid as well. 5 years is a long fucking time. You'll be a different person in 5 years.
Absolutely. So right now, I'm doing a marathon on November,
Oh,
next year,
nice.
November. So I'm
Or
training for
next year
that.
in November. Next year in November. Yeah, because
Yeah.
takes like fucking months to train for a marathon. What made you?
Absolutely.
What makes you want to train for a marathon? Is just a personal challenge.
Yeah, it's just a personal, it's more of a mental challenge as opposed to a physical challenge because for all intents and purposes that distance that you're running is not great for your body. So it's not going
Yeah.
to do my body any better than, it'd be better running a 5K, running a 10K, running, 5 miles, but it's more of a mental goal and more, it's just also an achievement that coming from a heavier background when I was a kid is something I never thought I'd be able to do. So that's why it makes it important for me, as well as I'm planning on doing now. Training for both is tough, but I'm planning on doing a powerlifting meet next year as well. So
Yeah,
it's
they're
I
kind
don't
of
know why.
contradictory a little bit, no?
Absolutely, they contradict each other a lot. But long distance running is sort of rooted in me because that's how I initially lost weight. I mean, the only thing I knew is, how to run. I didn't know anything about weightlifting, so I would run like
So how chubby
I
were
basically
you? Were
ran
you
a marathon.
how much of a fat ass were you, man?
Oh, dude, I was like a 42-inch waist. I'm 33 now,
Fuck. Oh,
32 maybe, but
I want to see some pictures, man. You got to send me some pictures on WhatsApp or something. I want
absolutely not. They'll end up in your next
big
book.
spotty face on you, probably.
Yeah. So I'm training for both, and I'm just working on getting, my career to bring in more profit. As far as travel goes, right now, realistically, I'm looking at doing 3 trips for next year. Maybe I can throw in a fourth one in there, but 3 seems to be more realistic. So, yeah, just keep up with traveling, training for both of those, meets, and planning on probably, I'm planning on getting a place soon.
What you're talking about trips? I think you mentioned earlier Eastern Europe. Where else?
So I'm definitely set on Iran.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Iran. That's what it was.
yeah, so I'm definitely set on Iran. Tunisia is looking like a definite as well. The other one is kind of up in the air, so I'm not sure. It might
Why
be.
do you want to? Why do you want to go to Tunisia so bad?
Um, well, I mean, I've always liked the
I think you'd like Morocco,
historical
man.
setting of North Africa,
You should go. You should go to Morocco, man. Morocco's fantastic.
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm saving Morocco because it's a sort of a bucket list goal to do the Casablanca to Cape Town trip. So I'm saving
Oh,
that.
I want to do that too. Oh, yes, boy.
I'm absolutely saving that for when I have a lot more time on
Yeah,
hand.
you need 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. You need at least 6 months.
No, I've that's the dream of mine as well. Actually, when I went to Morocco that time, I purposely didn't go on the coast. I stayed inland because in anticipation of going back to Morocco and doing the coast because of that trip. But fucking getting 6 months together, it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough.
Absolutely, and that's 6 months rushing as well. You need. I would
Yeah, and visas and shit, it's complicated. And I've already planned out the route
almost need a
because
year.
I actually went to West Africa. My nah, well, it depends the way you do it. When I went to West Africa at the time. I purposely carved out the countries in West Africa to make way for a more smooth route for the Casablanca to Cape Town, taking the northern passage across the Sahara. So you go down to Morocco, into Western Sahara, into Mauritania, into Mali, Burkina Faso, then into, was it fucking Chad? I want to say Chad, Niger, Chad, Central African Republic, Gabon, fucking Equatorial Guinea, Congo. I'm mixing, or Cameroon. Sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. They get a bit dodgy now in the center. I'm trying to think of my geography here. And then yeah, obviously Angola and all the way down. But that'd be a pretty smooth trip. But if you try and incorporate like the coast there, West Africa, it's shit's getting like complicated because you have to backtrack. It depends on what countries you want to do. But if you did the way I'm talking about it, you could easily do it in 6 months.
Yeah, I was looking. I would probably be hitting all the countries that you went to, so it would
Not if
be
you
a
go
little
with me,
bit
motherfucker.
right.
He's like, you can leave them for
Well, I've been
another
trying to
trip.
do a trip with you for a while now. I've been
Yeah,
trying
well,
to get.
you were supposed to come to Libya in fucking December, man. And then all of a sudden, you actually said, "All right, we're going to Libya," and then you just text me. Was it yesterday? I was like, I changed my mind. I'm going to Egypt.
Yeah, well, I was looking. I looked at what the all the hurdles I'd have to jump to get that visa. So,
Yeah,
and
Libya's
I
so
probably I
further.
didn't have enough time to do that. So, I'm
Yeah, I
looking.
mean, struggling to sort it out myself, to be honest.
Yeah, first of all, I'd have to renew my Peruvian passport, so then that I could get
Oh yeah,
along.
well, come on, mate, fuck that. Like, I mean, I don't know how difficult it is for U.S. citizens to get visas to Libya these days.
Oh yeah,
I'd say it's fucking difficult.
so we should. I have Tunisia and Iran set for next year, but
Oh
we
well,
should yeah next year.
okay, Yemen, did you say?
Yeah,
Oh, I'd love to do Yemen. Sana'a is supposed to be beautiful, the capital. I hear great things about it.
yeah.
I don't. I'd be totally down for going to somewhere like Yemen. Actually, that would or Eritrea.
I thought you've been there.
No, I've never been to Eritrea, and that'd be
Oh,
perfect
you were
for
at Djibouti.
if we. Because I got a week to kill. I got to be in Canada in summer, but I got a week to kill between Colombia and summertime. Yeah, I think Eritrea would be good for. It'd be perfect for like a week or like 10 days. What about
Absolutely.
that?
I was
I
thinking
mean
Eritrea.
that'd be cool,
Have
man.
you been to Djibouti or no?
I have been to Djibouti, and it's a
Okay.
shithole. It's a fucking shithole, and you can't go from Djibouti into Eritrea anyway. You kind of have to fly in or come from Sudan because
Okay.
the borders are closed with Ethiopia and Djibouti. So
South Sudan would also be quite the trip.
yeah, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I don't. I would be actually totally open minded to it because I haven't been to South Sudan. I've been to everywhere else around it. I'd have to look at flights in and out of there. I don't know what the story is there. Have you been to Ethiopia yet? I forget.
Yeah, so I was there for about a month.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you went up to like Bahir Dar and Gondor and all that.
Yeah, I did the whole
Yeah,
circle.
yeah. I forget how, you weren't. It didn't overwhelm you, Ethiopia, like it did me.
No, I loved the Nikhil tour that I did, but I think maybe I was just going too fast. You need a lot more. A month sounds like a long time, but that still doesn't do Ethiopia
No,
justice.
I've been there on 2 trips and I still haven't got to see loads of shit there.
Oh yeah, I missed the whole southern part of Ethiopia, you
Oh,
know.
me too. I still haven't been there. I haven't even been to Lalibela yet.
Oh,
Like
Lalibella's amazing. It's
shit.
gorgeous.
God damn it! Like I said, and I've been there twice and still haven't got to. Even Harar is really interesting. That medieval town and the near, the kind of going up towards Djibouti. So they got a lot going on there. It really does got a lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to
Not
do. I
not a great
forgot.
place to travel alone though.
No, 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 no. I linked up with some other tourists that we were going in the same direction. So I went from Addis Ababa to Debre Marcos to Bardar to uh, Gondar to Aksum to Mekelle to Labilela and did the Danakil tour. But I mean, I didn't even get to just do the feeding of the hyenas.
Was
That
it you who hooked up with Dexter J? Was it?
yeah. He's a
Yeah, he
cool
hooked
guy.
up. With,
Shout
for
out to
anyone who doesn't know,
Dex.
Dexter
Really
J
awesome
is this
cool guy.
guy. My most commented on blog post is my Addis Ababa City guide, and it's basically like a little like drug dealer page where it's like there's loads of drug selling going on in the comment section. And one of these guys, Dexter J, like I met him when I was over there. He apparently sells a fucking shit ton of weed through my website, and Dom hooked up with him. And you went to strip club. He owns a strip club, right?
No, he didn't own the strip club anymore.
Oh right. Well, he just yeah, but he was an interesting character.
Oh yeah, super
I
nice
met
guy.
yeah I met him I met him for I was only like 10 minutes now. I just literally just he just threw me a bit of smoke. That was pretty much it. But then interesting how those worlds intersect. So another option, North Korea.
Yes.
You can go. You can go.
I could go.
Americans can go. Oh no, but as I was saying about the
I
fucking
thought you meant
Japan
with my
thing.
Peruvian passport I could go.
Oh no, even with your American passport. But anyway, I think that conversation is for another day because we've been talking probably an hour and
That's
15
true,
minutes.
yeah. So I mean,
But before you
settle
go,
on- we should, that should be a poll. What
but
next zone
yeah,
that you and I?
how we can
That's
have an adventure. Now, if for the criteria, if anyone wants to tweet it, or whatever, tweet at Naughty Nomad. I'm on Gab now as well, which is the new free speech version of Twitter, but it's only starting. I think it's so new. I've signed up today. I have 4 followers, but but that will be a big thing because they queue you. So when you register, it took them like 2 weeks to fucking get me an account because it's such demand. It's crazy. Because Twitter fucking being PC Nazis. But anyway, if you have any idea of like a week, think an island or somewhere that'd be good to go for a week, and you're interested in hearing about it, like somewhere like Bhutan or North Korea or Sri Lanka, or those type of places. Send your suggestions to us. But before we kind of leave it there for the minute, Dom, I'll ask you a couple of questions I haven't asked you about, and I'm curious about because I'm back in training now. I was 6 months kind of out of the gym,
Yeah.
for a while, and now I'm back at about 2 months through it, and I'm getting fucking really strong again, and it feels great. You're fucking. I've seen your Instagram and stuff. You're fucking pie on the pounds. You look like you could definitely start a fitness blog. Like you've turned into a fucking big strong guy. A lot of guys would follow you, and I'm sure because you're in fitness. That's what you do. You're Mr. Fitness now, and people come to you for advice and all that kind of thing. So give us some top tips for someone who's in my position. So I'm trying to let's say just pack like look. I want to look ripped. Like you did a cut there recently. I saw you fucking shredded the fat. So I already have like decent like muscle base from strength training. How do I get ripped? Give me your top 3 tips.
Well, I would, knowing you, I'd give more of a tailored Naughty Nomad top tips. Would be number one.
Are you gonna
I'd
address
say,
my
cut down the beer.
alcoholism? Oh, for fuck's sake! I knew it. I knew that's what you're gonna say.
I mean, you can't. There's no way to get around it. That is That is the best. That's the best fat burner move that I made for when I
Okay,
wanted
well,
to get
actually,
to
last week, no joke, last week I actually stopped because I was drinking every single day. That's what people do here. And last week I said, this is joke. Like, gotta stop this. So I actually did put down the bottle. Maybe once a week now. Once a week. I was at a wedding last weekend, so I had to break the. Do you even drink once a week?
is good. What I usually tell people is, let's say you're used to drinking like I don't know, 10 drinks throughout the week. So you just give yourself a goal.
Try a liter of wine a day.
Right.
And
So
that's just the weekdays.
that's just a Monday night. So you pick a
true.
goal of, let's say, 4 drinks, and you keep that in mind, and
4
you
drinks for
you
the
write it down,
week?
right? So if you're drinking 10, you pick 4. So then you're a little bit wiser throughout the times that you
Preferably
drink.
not beer, right? You want to be on whiskey or something that's no carb, right?
I would, yeah. I mean, when I usually I'll have like maybe 1 drink a week or 1 or 2. So I
dude,
mean, at that point it doesn't matter because it's not that much. So I mean, mostly I'll have whiskey, but that's just because I like whiskey. But yeah, I mean, I would usually recommend whiskey over beer because
4
it's not
drinks,
gonna
man.
bloat you up.
My brother's coming on Thursday for 4 days. That's just it's gonna have to start next week because I haven't seen him from. He's gonna be in party mode, so yeah, this is gonna have to wait for next week. But then yeah, the booze thing is actually something I have taken seriously now. The last week I haven't had a drop apart from the wedding, but because I was drinking every night and I stopped it. Because I felt like I needed to get sleep and that was bullshit. And now I feel a lot better in the morning. So that's obviously the first thing, right? So
Well, the second thing is what you just mentioned, getting enough sleep.
yeah, well, yeah, that's your second thing, getting enough sleep.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you get at least 7 to 8, or else you could do all the weightlifting in the world if you're not going to regenerate from those muscle tears if you're just, in the clubs or pubs all night.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't sleep as well. And like alcohol inhibits, muscle fucking regrowth as well. That's the thing. Like I was doing a lot of research in the last 2 weeks, and I was like, oh shit, dude, you're gonna have to fucking stop drinking every night. So I stopped that anyway. So that's actually good. I'm glad you give me this advice. You're positively reinforcing the decisions I've made in the last, week or so. So
Yeah,
that's
sleep is very important, man. A
so
lot of
to all
people.
you alcoholic, I was thinking, listen, I was thinking, because actually my body, I look pretty good, like, naked right now. Like, I look strong and stuff, but I'm not ripped, I've still got that layer around me. And I was like, I'm looking pretty good. If I keep going like this, I'll come out with a little ebook, the Alcoholic's Guide to, to Fitness. Because I'm never gonna be Schwarzenegger. That could be my niche.
Right, I love it. That
How to
was
be an alcoholic and still look
a great title.
fucking
The
deadly.
alcoholic's guide to a decent body.
Yeah, yeah, but then I just couldn't get like, yeah, it doesn't work. You can't write a book unless you don't have a fucking six pack. So I was like, and it's just like you can't do it. The alcohol, it's just like, oh, there's no way I'm doing this. The only way to do it is give up. You just lay back on the sauce.
Yeah, well, no, I'm sure there's an audience for
Yeah, but the
there's
thing
there's a
is,
lot of guys that don't care about being super ripped and they
I'm
just
sure
want.
I'm sure when you're ripped, it's a lot easier to drink because it's just about getting rid of the fat in the first place, and then you can kind of you've a bit more, especially if you're bulking, you've a bit more opportunity to have carbs. But it's just losing that body fat in the first place, you're not gonna fucking do it if you're drinking every night.
Oh yeah, dude. I
So
mean,
that was the biggest thing you found was just lay off the sauce.
yeah, and then the other thing is, this is not uh, towards you because you already do these type of workouts, but a lot of younger guys I see in the gym, they'll be doing a whole bunch of isolation movements,
Yeah,
bicep curls, tricep extensions, which you're burning very little calories. That's something I would do after I already
do you
build.
train fasted or fed?
Sorry, repeat that.
Do
You
you tr-
could cut off.
do you train fasted or fed?
No, I train fed. I mean, I'm doing heavy. I'm doing deadlifts, squats, bench presses, pull-ups. I'm trying to get as many compound movements.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
go heavy on my compound movements so that I could build the most muscle. And building more muscle
Are you doing
will
like
build more
what's your
muscle,
what's your
more
rep
fat
range?
building
Are
muscle.
you doing your bodybuilding now as opposed to strength training, or are you doing both?
No, I'm doing a little bit of both. I mean, you know, if you watch your diet, they don't have to be that different from each other. If you watch your diet, then you could look, pretty jacked.
Pretty much anything you do, just once you're fucking lifting heavy shit, you're gonna look better. That's what it's
Yeah,
just
you're
it's all
gonna
about your
look better.
diet.
And if you
Yeah.
don't eat like shit, if you eat like shit and lift heavy shit, you're gonna look like a pregnant, power lifter.
And like in terms of, because that's what the secret is. Because I'm training 4 days a week. I find it better than three because I like to spend less time and just kind of focus on one thing. It suits me better. But I figured it's nutrition. It's all down to fucking nutrition. So like, what's the big? Have you made any changes in your diet or what? Like, go through what you eat. What do you eat pre-workout? Like, would you work out in the evenings? Do you work out in the morning or?
Well, I work out more to whatever my schedule allows me to get my gym time in. So I tend to do more late night workouts, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock
Oh
sometimes.
wow, quite late. I, I,
Yeah.
I I work out in the evenings as well. So yeah, so I have to train fed now. You never used to, but
Oh
so
no, I mean training. I always train fat.
what do you eat pre workout? What do you eat pre workout?
So sometimes I'll have a shake. I have like a recipe that I think fuels my body the best for heavy lifting, which is I'll do almond milk with protein powder and a little bit of peanut butter, banana, and oats. So that
Lots of
keeps me
yeah, lots
feeling.
of sugars and carbs and a bit of protein for BCAAs for your muscles when you're going in. And how do you have that like an hour beforehand or?
Yeah, I'll have that about maybe 45 minutes beforehand, 45 minutes to an hour, and that keeps me feeling strong and ready to attack the workout. So I don't feel like, I
And what do
don't
you eat
feel
for
like
breakfast? Do you have breakfast?
starved teenager. What?
Do you have breakfast?
Yeah, that's really important. I never skip breakfast. I always have egg whites with a little bit of oats.
Oh, okay, okay, right. Oh, interesting. And then what do you have post workout?
Post workout, I'll either have another shake or I'll have an actual meal, and the meal will usually consist of, the usual brown rice, chicken, and maybe a sweet potato. It's my nutrition was always there, even when I was away. I didn't exactly, just stuff myself with McDonald's or processed foods. It was just the going out and the drinking that was putting on the extra body fat. So once I changed that, it didn't take very long. It took about maybe, I don't know, 3 months, 2 months.
Oh, I think I know what I need to do.
It's you got to make the call, dude.
Because my nutrition is pretty tight, you know. I eat a lot of good shit. I eat a lot of good shit. But it's just a fucking booze. God damn it. But
Yeah, Europeans usually have a pretty good diet. It's not as hard for you guys as it is for some Americans without the
I
processed food.
disagree. I think it's a lot cheaper. Like I really miss New York. Just get like things like protein bars. I know that they're particularly good for you, but you know when you're really stuck for protein and you're out and about, like in here in Europe, you can't like just go to the shop and get protein. You know what I mean? There's no quick protein. Uh,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
uh,
I mean, you have
and beef
more,
is so cheap in
you have
America.
cleaner foods. That.
Yeah, but it's so cheap to get fucking beef here. It's like I'm paying a fortune for beef here. Yeah, but we do and we don't. We still have a lot of processed shit here as well. It depends what you're eating. Yeah, no, we have a lot of shit in Ireland. We have a lot better food than where I live in Malta. Because we all the beef here in Malta, all the lot it's all imported because it's such a small island and it's kind of arid, and all the beef is imported from Ireland. Funny enough, so I'm saying, so if I want Irish beef, I pay for double for it, but I'm eating the same shit I could get back home. But
Well,
anyway.
you live in a pretty party central area, so I can
Oh
imagine.
God, it's terrible. It's terrible for the drinking. It's because it is every night's party here, and I really have to fucking I've struggled like to just contain myself a bit. But also, even though and it's very cheap to go out, but when you're drinking every night, you do notice it's taxing on your wallet, your sleep, your health. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
tough. And then the thing
it
is,
all adds up.
you want to go out and meet people as well and socialize. So it's kind of like it's hard to get the balance right. And everything's so centered around alcohol. It's kind of, you don't want to be the guy at the parties like, yeah, I'm just drinking water. I find myself, socially, maybe I rely on alcohol a bit as much to crush. And I definitely do. Like, especially if I'm going out gaming. Alcohol is like, it really does help me. And that sounds so sad. God
No,
damn.
I mean every guy relies on it because it gives them,
Yeah.
gives you a little bit of a push.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know I would. It gives you a push to maybe do an approach that you'd feel self-conscious doing sober.
But I guess it's just priorities. I mean, I think you and me, we both had enough success with women where we're kind of eyes on the prize on other projects.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got to the point where, we both know that, we both know what it's like,
You know
to,
that you can.
you know
So
that you can, and,
yeah,
at some point, you reach a point where the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
yes. It took me a while to process that metaphor, but yeah.
Yeah, you just get to the point where you know what it's like. You know what the one night stands are like. You know what the threesomes are like. You know what the having a rotation of three beautiful women is like. So then at that point, it pays more to work on, financial goals or
Yeah. Just setting yourself up for your yeah. Well, trust me, we're preaching to the choir here. Uh,
yeah, you don't want the only thing to you don't want only the memories to be what you're left with. You want to leave some kind of
it's just you
yeah
need to make yourself sustainable. You need to be a
yeah
man, be independent. Being a man
yeah
isn't like yeah, of course we like you have to. Being successful with women is one thing. I was thinking about this during the week, and I think I came up with a kind of good expression for this. Like sleeping with women and being successful with women is not a measure of masculinity; it's an expression of it.
absolutely. And for a long time, I think that we must we were just appearing to believe that
It's the measure. It's the
it's the
measure.
measure of how much of a man you are. If you
Yeah.
say, I've slept with 100 women, that means you're more of a man than someone that slept with 20 women.
And sadly, or not sadly, but for a lot of men, that is the measure of masculinity. And I think it's only the guys who have kind of, you have to reach a certain point before you can kind of move on from that. I don't know. It's a complicated one, man. But
Yeah, I mean, Roosh had a great article where, I mean, there's 3 points to your life, and you can't just, if you're just focusing on women, you're just a spam approacher. You have to focus on your fitness, your strength, and your career goals as well to be well-rounded.
yeah, being well rounded. So life is about balance. Speaking of balance, man, I think I was gonna come up with something very clever there, but I was about to reveal a bit of information that I really shouldn't over a podcast. Maybe I'll tell you. I'll tell you after this is. It's definitely not something I want to put out there. I'll tell you after we hang up. But
Is it your address?
oh god, no! It's just that I have to be up in the morning to do something, and I'll tell you what it is. It's not. Yeah, like it's not. It's definitely not something I want to put out there. But for that reason, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
All
But it
right,
was
man.
man, it was so great talking to you.
Always.
Catching up. I do miss like I wanted to start doing Hangover Radio again because I've got a few good guests and stuff, and unfortunately, just the way it shouldn't die. Hangover Radio shouldn't die.
Oh,
We should keep
shouldn't
the
I?
flame there.
Absolutely not.
Like we were at the height of it. It was very popular, and it'd be nice to bring it back. And so
And we had some interesting guests too.
yeah, I know I've got some really interesting people lined up. Yeah, so a lot of great world travelers. People who've been to over 100 countries. I've got politicians, and I actually got a guy lined up who's been to every single country in the world as well.
Really?
Yeah, and
Dude,
he's made 1.5 million from travel blogging.
that's great. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to it. I mean, we should start it up again.
Yeah, like I don't know how to coordinate it with Skype. I'm sure you can do three-way Skype calls.
That's how I did it when we were in Uganda, remember?
Well, see, yeah, oh yeah, vaguely remember. But so the way we'll do this is like all I'm gonna keep on doing. If you can't do the interviews, I'll tell you that because it's gonna be hard to coordinate 3 people. What I'll do is I'm gonna set up these interviews, and any chance you can, I'll tell you in advance, and hopefully we can. It'd be great, obviously, if you could get on the interview as well.
Looking forward to it, man.
All right, cool.
I have one interview that I still have to edit and send you, or maybe I won't edit. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
hear it back, and yeah, send it up, and I'll post it up for people listening. Just for anyone. It's a porn star named. It's a guy, right?
yeah, it's a guy.
So that's easy. We interviewed a few female porn stars. If anyone is interested, go back and listen to Hangover Radio on SoundCloud. We interviewed a lot of female porn actresses, but this is the first guy that Dom interviewed. I don't know why we ended up
Second guy, actually.
we interviewed like one porn star, and it was so good the podcast that all like the porn agencies were like ringing us up. Can you interview this person? Can you interview that person? Hilarious. But it was starting to be we're starting to become pigeonholed as the porn actress interviewer guys. But anyway, listen, man. I'll leave it there. Everyone, this is the part of the show usually where Dom would say his Twitter and blog and stuff, but he doesn't have one of those anymore. So he just. As for me though,
So if you see me, you see me.
yeah, if you see me, and for me, Twitter at Naughty Nomad, obviously naughtynomad.com. The best way to reach me is on Facebook, though. I always tell people that because I respond quicker on Facebook. Yeah, so until next time, Don.
Until next time, man.
Adios.
Screwed, it's trashy, it ain't too classy. It's Hangover Radio.